It is playoff football live from Firebird Field here tonight as the Lakota West Firebirds are taking on the Walnut Hills Eagles. This is going to be a very lopsided affair, but Andrew, nevertheless, what are the keys to this game for both teams?
Well, I think for one team there is a major key, and that is the Firebirds is show up to the game. I think as long as our players show up and we play and we go on the field and run plays, I think we'll be fine. I don't think we're gonna see a single pass today from the Firebirds. Maybe one over under 2.5, and I'm taking the under heavy there because it's just going to be a complete domination in the trenches, and that's where these, when you look at these teams in the skill positions, it's not that, too far away from each other. But when you look at the trenches and the offensive line and defensive line of both teams, Lakota West that's where they excel, and that's how they're going to dominate this game. And then also just stay healthy. You don't want any unneeded injuries in this game. So when you go up early, just take your starters out.
Yeah, health is definitely a big thing. You saw last week Wiles go down. That was scary, to say the least, for him and for the team in general. And Luca Gilbert in a boot right now. He will not be active for this game. And we saw Radica go out for a couple plays, but I think he is fine. So we'll see some of his game here tonight. But, yeah, I mean, you look at the gap between these two teams. West 9-1, Walnut Hills 1-9. These two teams are incredibly different, and the record really shows it. And I think, you look, 0 conference wins for Walnut Hills. Their only win was against Western Hills, who we know well enough as we won 69-0 against them last year in the first round. And so I think that's just really going to put in perspective, how this is going to go. The national anthem is coming out onto the field, so we'll take a short step aside before we are back to go over the rest of this game here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. So, assuming Lakota West does take care of business against the lowly Hills team, now you got to think about the rest of this playoff bracket. So, why don't we go ahead and go through our predictions, looking first at St. X versus Milford. Andrew, who do you got?
In that game, it is a 6v11 matchup, and I think St. X has the edge there. I got to give it to them, 34-7. I think Chase Herbstreet's gonna have a day over Milford.
Yeah, I agree. I got St. X 33-0. I think that run game is going to play incredible really throughout that whole game. And, yeah, I do think St. X takes that one. They are going to be scary throughout the rest of this playoffs. But looking at Winton Woods versus Little Miami, another very lopsided affair that you see in these first rounds. What are you thinking, on that stretch?
Yeah, I got Winton Woods in that one, 44-0. They're 2 conference foes, but I think Little Miami just not going to be able to do anything against Winton Woods, who's the third seed in this bracket.
Yeah, I agree. I do think Winton Woods wins 38-17. They have struggled a little bit against lesser opponents, so I do think it'll be somewhat close. But I definitely have Winton Woods coming out on top. But also, it is much harder to beat a team twice, which they already beat Little Miami. So I think that one will be closer than a lot of people think.
Yeah, and then the next matchup we have another lopsided affair, Muller and Sycamore, the 1v16 matchup. I got Muller. It's 56-0 in that one. What about you?
Well, I went ahead and said 70-0. Moeller is a very competent team. The pass game is incredible. Really, everything about that team. They are the state championship contenders right now, probably the favorite as of right now. And everyone knows, we know all too well, Sycamore they are not going to be able to stay in that game. There's not much to say there. But an interesting matchup, a very, very, very close one. The 8 versus the 9, East versus West Claremont. I think it's going to be a great game, but I think East is going to overcome them pretty easily, 35-17. Their offense is incredible, and I don't think West Claremont will be able to catch up with them.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I think East wins 23-13. I think West Claremont has a decent defense, but again, what East's offense is miles better than West Claremont's offense, and I got the Thunderhawks in that one.
And another team coming into this playoffs very hot is Hamilton. They're going ahead and taking on Oak Hills, another GMC matchup, a big one for sure. I think Hamilton takes that one 33-7. Grayson Goldsmith, we talk about him all the time, that he is a player, and he is going to just be incredible. I don't think Oak Hills defense will be able to do much against them.
Yeah, I got Hamilton 35-7. Grayson Goldsmith, like you said, and then that Hamilton defensive front. It's just amazing, and it's going to be tough to stop for Oak Hills. So, I got the Big Blue coming out with the win there.
Princeton versus Fairfield, as we see the West Firebirds coming out onto the field. I'm going to go ahead and say 38-21 Princeton. Princeton is an interesting team. They looked very good early on. Kind of have slowed down since. I do think they come out on top, 38-21. But, I mean, they allowed 30 points last time they played, so I think it's going to be a fairly close game as the fans are coming alive here. But like I said, I do think Princeton comes out on top. Fairfield's offense will keep them in the first half.
Yeah, I do think Princeton's going to win this one pretty easily. I like Fairfield on that offense, but I just simply don't think the defense is good enough to win that game. Give me Princeton 52-21.
For sure, and then probably the best matchup of the week, Elder versus Mason. This is a big one. The winner of that will go ahead and play the winner of this match, which I'm just going to go ahead and say will be the Lakota West Firebirds. But I'm going to give it to Elder. I think they win 27-10. We saw Miss Mason offense last week very, very struggling against a very good West defense. And St. X defense is also incredible. I think they're going to do a very good job, and they're going to come out on top with the win. And, I mean, this is a very strong Elder team, and we might see a 2 years in a row matchup between West and Elder.
Yeah, I have Elder in that one too. I think it's going to be really close just because Elder's very banged up, and they haven't been great this year. They're only 5-5, so I think it's two very average teams. But I do give the slight edge to Elder, 10-6 defensive battle over there in that one.
Yeah, those GCL teams are always going to be tough, but let's go ahead and look at the big one this week. Lakota West taking on Walnut Hills. Seems like we're both in agreement, but what do you think that score is going to come out being?
I got Lakota West winning that one 56-0. I think, last year after, that drubbing of Western Hills, maybe Bolden wants to take it down a notch. Don't put up 69 points, just take it a foot off the gas after the first half. But I do think the Firebirds will win. Walnut Hills has a decent passing attack, but it's not going to be anything. It's not going to do much tonight. And the Firebirds are just simply way more talented.
Yeah, the pass attack is interesting. Will Rivers, a guy who has thrown 15 interceptions this year, more than double the interceptions as touchdowns, had a rough one last week with 4 interceptions, and yet they throw it most of the time. Their run game has not been good. The run game has really struggled. In fact, West has 4 players with more rush yards than their top rushers, Simeon Robinson for Walnut Hills. And like you said, I think they're going to maybe let off the gas a little bit. I don't think they'll hit 60. I think they win 59-0. There's not much you can do. I wrote it down. 2 very polar opposite teams. You got a team like West, and then you got a team like Walnut Hills. There's not much to say. It's not going to be a close one. And so I do think West takes that one 59-0.
Yeah, and that it's going to be a fun one tonight to see a preview of what the Firebirds are going to look like in the playoffs. But I think this is just a game where you just want to stay healthy. That's all you want to do. Move on to next week and get ready for your next matchup, which is going to be either against the team you just beat 41-0 in Mason or an Elder team that's really banged up and kind of limping into these playoffs.
Yeah, the earlier we see the JV backups come in, the better for this team. You do not want any injuries at all, headed into a big game against Elder, who, like you said, 5-5 record, but when you're a GCL team, your record is going to be increased a lot as Kofi Dufour comes out to kick this one away. Going to be, I believe, Mark Bronson back there. They got a couple guys back returning for Walnut Hills. The whistle blows. Dufour looks left, then right. And playoffs have begun. A low flyer, and that one will go through the back of the end zone to set up a first down for Walnut Hills.
And out comes Will Rivers, 7 touchdowns in the year, 15 interceptions. And he's going up against this defensive front filled with Cole Mundy, Vincent Giordano, Cam Thomas, Derek Edwards. The list goes on. I mean, it's going to be a rough night if Walnut Hills wants a chance in this game at all.
Yeah, for sure. Will Rivers, not the best stats for at all, but you got to like that, he's slinging out. He's a guy who he might throw 4 interceptions, but he's going to get you some yards, and he's not going to be afraid to take some chances. But we'll see what he does here on that first snap. This is one of the best defenses in the state of Ohio. Quick run to the right sideline, and that one will be stopped immediately. Loss of 1.
Yeah, and that's just tough to see right there. The offensive line, like I said, pregame is just not going to be able to handle this defensive line of Lakota West. It's just simply a mismatch in every single way. And right now, I mean, as this clock's running, Walnut Hills has got to be thinking, we got to get something going deep. Obviously, it's been their bread and butter all season, and it's going to have to continue to be tonight if they want a chance.
Yeah, they throw the ball a lot. I believe almost double the attempts between Sam Wiles and Will Rivers. So we'll see what he does here on 2nd and 10. Blitz coming off that right side. Be a nice flip, but it's not going anywhere. Big play from the Firebirds.
Yeah, and that play just felt like a weird design. There was just no room for him to get out anywhere, and the Firebirds took easy advantage of it, and now it brings up a 3rd and long, which is the situation these Firebirds love to be in.
Really, any defense loves to be in those 3rd and longs. I mean, it is just incredible. You just keep him in front of you. Many people might not like it, but just play some prevent defense, and you should bring up that 4th down and hopefully force a punt.
Yeah, I don't know about prevent defense this early in the game, but, I do.
Prevent before 14 yards, So Rivers, shotgun snap, gives it off to a big barreling running back, and he will go nowhere. And that'll bring up 4th and long. I'm not sure about that play call on 3rd down.
Yeah, kind of a weird change of identity right there for Walnut Hills. They ran it 3 times, and what they've been able to do all year is pass the ball, and they went straight away from that immediately, and now they're off the field. I mean, it just seems like they're not even playing for the win right there if you're running it 3 times up the middle, especially that last play call. I mean, I'm just not really sure about that.
I don't see in what scenario on 3rd and 14 you should run it up the middle.
One theory I do have is they might just be trying to end this game as fast as possible.
That is probably it, and
really
looks like timeout for the Eagles here, so we'll take a short step aside. Lakota West gets a 3 and out on their first drive. Expect many more for the rest of this game. I am Nikos. He is Andrew here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. So Walnut Hills will punt it for the first time tonight. We'll see Colin Ross out there, I believe. And a flag goes down.
Looks like it's on the Firebirds. Just a little mistake right there.
against Lakota West.
So 4th and 9 now. We'll run it back for the 3rd time. Ross, snap, and he will, a very short punt. West got there fast, and that one's going to bounce inside the 35. It's an incredible special teams unit in all aspects, and now we get to see our first drive of Sam Wiles.
Yeah, and I expect a lot of run on this drive, and you know I think they might score on the first play here. They get something good going to the outside. This Walnut Hills defense in the ECC has been last overall. They allow 307 yards a game and 20 or almost about 30 points per game. So definitely not the greatest product of defense we've seen, but we'll see what they can do anything here. Maybe force the Firebirds on a stop.
We'll see. The defense, I think, has been the strong suit. Both have not been good. As Wiles going to take it up the middle. He's got a man gone, and he's inside the 25 for a first down.
Good tackle there for Walnut Hills to prevent the touchdown.
I mean, it's not easy guarding him anytime on that run option. He is very, very dangerous, and he proves it right there.
But if you're Walnut Hills, it is just it's tough. You got to be thinking, you know, we just want to get out here healthy and just, you know, at least put up somewhat of a fight.
You look at the point differential. West is plus 315. Hills minus 271. As that one goes to the end zone, nearly intercepted, but that one's dropped right there. That was very close. A great play, but just out of reach right there for Dayron Ackland.
I mean, what a just not a good throw.
Yeah,
right
there's
there.
your throw you were looking for. I'm not sure.
You cannot let this team get hope. I mean, you're the clear you know favorites in this game, and you give them hope by throwing a pick there. That could be, you know, detrimental. Obviously, you're not really in any territory. We're gonna lose this game, but it's nice. It would be better to see your quarterback make that throw as Wiles goes down inside the 10.
Number 2, Sam Wiles on the quarterback keeper.
But you know, if Walnut Hills could have brought in that pick, that would have been a sight to behold. But we've seen that a lot early. The Firebirds throwing or having some turnovers on their opening drives. It doesn't matter who they play. I mean, Sycamore got a pick. I mean, that's saying something. If Sycamore can get a pick on your opening drive, that is something you might want to clean up.
And I think that's good to see because when you think about it, if you can not let that momentum shift, that's good coaching, and you're going to see that a lot from Bolden as that one's a quick throw out to Norman. Norman trying to get that outside edge. Makes a man miss, and he is inside the 5. A nice gain to bring up another first down.
But I'm liking how Walnut Hills right now, they're keeping the offense in front of them on every single play. You know, they're not giving it all up in one play, and they're making sure that the Firebirds earn these points, you know. Nothing is, you know, you got to go out on the field and get it. And while the matchups might seem like this game's going to be over in, you know, 5 minutes, which it probably will be, but, you know, it all has to be played on the field. And I think right now, Lakota West just has to punch this one in.
So here we go. Wiles motions Norman. Takes it himself inside the 5, and he is into the end zone for another West Side touchdown.
Really good read there from Wiles. He just ran it straight up the middle and good blocking on the outside, and that's a quick touchdown for Lakota West. You love to see it.
That's his 27th touchdown of the year. He has been an enormous load for this offense. Over 900 rush yards. Incredible through the air. There is nothing he can't do, and it's going to be a long night for Walnut Hills if they can't guard him.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean, even if they can guard him, there's so many other players on this West team that can do damage to them. And it is going to be tough dealing with these skill position guys.
It is up and good for a do-it-for, so we'll take a short step aside, and we will be back. It is 7-0 Lakota West. Expect many more scores the rest of this night. So a do before to put this one away up to the Walnut Hills side of the field. And that one will go straight through the back of the end zone. Great first drive for West.
Really good to see. I mean, there were definitely it wasn't perfect, but you know, it ended in a score, so that's all that matters. Is Lakota West looks to get back here defensively. They had a good first possession, and maybe Walnut Hills can change it up a little bit. Maybe throw the ball.
I want to see some throws out of this team. I think a West defense that struggles when it comes to deep balls, I think they could do some real damage. I don't think they can, you know, do enough to win the game, but I think they could definitely put something up there through the air. But I guess it'll just depend on what Will Rivers can do here tonight. He is an interesting season for sure. Like I said, 15 interceptions for him, 42% completion percentage. Another run up the middle, and I think they're going to continue this pattern pretty much all night.
And, I mean, this is just – you do not want to see this. I mean, it really makes you think, you know, this football game probably shouldn't have happened. I mean, there's some teams in these playoffs that really, you know, when you look at how they've played this season, don't really deserve to be in there. So, you know, it's kind of – it is just sad to see that, you know, this is what's happening, where teams literally have no faith in winning, so they are just running out the entire clock and with running the football, which I think that's what Walnut Hills is going to do here. I mean, unless they prove me wrong right here.
I really, like you said, I think this should be a sign that it might be time to not let all these teams in, as that one looked like a run-pass option, but it's going to go nowhere. The defense collides. I think that one was Dylan Skelton and Giordano on the play.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, these games where everyone knows who the winner is going to be beforehand, they can lead to unnecessary injuries and also teams just giving up, and that's not what you want to see. Like, no one wants to, you know, see that happen, and it's not really good for the sport when you think about it in that terms. And I obviously love some good, you know, playoff upsets and matchups like that, but when a matchup is this lopsided, there's just no, like, yeah, you know, it's going to be one of those games that it's not really worth watching.
Yeah, but you know what? Never say never, as Rivers takes a snap. He will air it out this time. Right there to Dennis, and Dennis is taken down right there by Ogletree, and Mason coming in to clean up the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, they threw the football. I mean, it took them long enough, but it worked. I mean, they should have been doing that the entire drive, and I don't know. I mean, that was a good throw from Walnut Hills. It looks like they're staying on the field. I mean,
what a gutsy call.
I mean, they have some trust in the offense. They know if they don't get this, it's not really a point. They're not going to get the stop probably.
You saw the last punt. It did not go far, but here we go. The very close game. I think the student section attests to, you know, the players out here and just what this game is going to be like. Rivers, snap, and it is tipped in the air and falls on the ground. Rivers tried to catch his own pass, but wasn't able to, and that's going to be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I like that decision. You know you're not going to get a stop, even if you punt it. So, you know, why punt it? Just go for it there and you know, hope for the best. Hope you can keep the drive alive. They got a completion on the play before. That was their first, you know, positive yards of the night, so you might as well continue that and see if you can get anything going. But unlucky there, getting the pass batted down, and now Lakota West with a chance to really break away here.
Yeah, and we obviously want a West win, but you want a competitive game out there. So I want to see some more throws from Rivers. 1 of 2, you know, it's more yards than they've gotten earlier. Right now, I think they have negative yards or net 0. I'm not sure. Johnson motions out to the right. Throws it over the middle. He's got into the end zone. It is caught. What a play right there.
Jack Barella over the middle. His first touchdown of the year. That's great to see for the senior.
For sure. And when one guy goes out, you get some opportunities like that. Jack Barella, a guy who's struggled a little bit this year on catches, but he caught that one, and the effort on the play to drive his body into the end zone, that was incredible to see.
Yeah, an amazing effort there for Lakota West, and a great throw from Wiles right over the middle. Just too easy for the Firebirds. And Walnut Hills off to a rough start here. As something's going on, Brogdon's running it out, and he's going to be short. So Walnut Hills, there's a positive play.
So it'll be 13-0. We saw it last year. A missed extra point from West last year led to that 69 instead of 70. But there you go, 13-0 for Lakota West. We will be right back to see how Walnut Hills respond. So here comes the do-before out to kick this one away. And we'll see Walnut Hills receive as that one will go into the back of the end zone.
And once again, I think Walnut Hills is just going to continue to do what they've been doing, and that is just play like there's no tomorrow, which there isn't a tomorrow if they lose this game. So I think they're just going to continue to do everything they can and try to win this. But take a look at the bracket right there. Forgot to put it up earlier, but there is the bracket. As you see, Lakota West there down in that section. If they win this game, they play the winner of Elder versus Mason, which is going to be a good one. That's also on tonight. So, a lot of good matchups over there on that bracket. And, it's going to be exciting to see what the end result is. And I think all of us are thinking the end result is going to likely be a matchup between two familiar foes, and that is Lakota West and Moeller. And that's going to be one heck of a game like it is every single year.
Rivers looking around, and he's going to get brought down again by Giordano and Mundy, two guys who have been incredible on this defensive line.
Yeah, once again, it brings up the question as there's Cole Mundy, 5 sacks in the season. He leads the Firebirds in sacks. He's been great this year, just a total game wrecker. And, he's gone under the radar, but he's one of the best defenders on this team.
Sure, him and really just his whole team. It's such a well-rounded team. No one really sticks out as that incredible, but they all just work as a team, and that's what you're going to get when Tom Bolden is your head coach.
Yeah, Bolden makes sure these guys are ready, in the offseason when they're doing workouts and they're getting ready for the season to start. He makes sure this team is prepared and ready to go, and all of their guys have been ready to go, really, here tonight, as they have just done their job and all season throughout, and that's why they have the number 2 seed, and that's why they're going to have 2 home games here before they, suit up in that third round of the playoffs. And, don't want to look too ahead, but if they did make it that far, it would be either a matchup between, it would likely be a matchup between either Winton Woods or St. Xavier, and those are 2, tough foes that they're going to have to play, both teams with a lot of, talent, and Lakota West saw St. X earlier in the year.
Rivers rolling out to his right, pressure coming, gets it off. It is caught on the sideline. Not sure if he got his feet in bounds.
And it's like it hit the ground before it reeled it in, but a nice play extending the play from Rivers, just unable to make the throw.
Frustrating again. 3 straight 3-and-outs now for Walnut Hills. We'll see.
Ref got scared of the ball there as it was coming towards him.
We'll see what they can do here. Reese Mason and Barnett back, 2 guys who have just been incredible on this team, especially Reese. He just does it all. He plays corner. You saw last week Davis got hurt. He came out of the field, caught like a 30-yard catch over their best defender. That one is a wobbler up. Mason calls looked like he called for a fair catch, but I guess not. He's going to take it, and there he goes. Right as I was talking about him, he's into the end zone for his second punt return touchdown of the year.
Yeah, I could have sworn he called for a fair catch as well, but doesn't matter. I mean, who cares about the rules anyways? He takes it right in. I mean, that just looks so easy, and they are piling on points here in this first quarter, the Firebirds are.
I don't want to sound like a broken record. I just talked him up. I don't know if I can talk him up again, but I mean, he does it all. The punt returns, the kick returns, him and Finn. I mean, both of them, 5 interceptions together, 15 pass defended. They are one of the best duos at that corner position that the GMC and really all of this playoffs have to offer.
Yeah, both of them. I mean, Finn with 3 picks, Reese with 2 picks, and then we saw Reese coming in receiver last week making an amazing catch on 3rd and 18. That was amazing.
As Seats puts that one up and good, so it is 20-0 here at Firebird Field. It is not looking good for Walnut Hills. Just 3:23 to go in this first quarter, as we'll see what they can do on their next drive. So Dubufor, who has the most touchbacks in GMC history this season, that one's up, and you'll see another one out the back of the end zone. It doesn't even look like these Walnut Hills returners are even thinking about returning it.
Yeah, they know the leg of Kofi, it's not even going to come close to hitting the field of play, as Walnut Hills has to come out here and do something. It is already 20-0, and I feel like they should start the running clock sooner than later in this game. I mean, obviously you have to start it in the second half, but for how this game is looking, you should probably start it in the second quarter.
Yeah, I did hear some rumblings that they are thinking about maybe having that running clock go in the second quarter, but I guess we'll let time decide.
And that's another problem with these matchups is if you're thinking about having a running clock in the second quarter
before the game started, yeah.
I mean, it's really just not a good situation to be in for Walnut Hills.
As that one goes over Will Rivers' head, wasn't able to hold on, and he'll dive on the ball. So another loss of yards. I think they're net negative right now. It is. We'll get you your halftime stats for sure, as there is going to be some interesting ones on there.
Yeah, and it is really just, you got to feel, for these Walnut Hills players, especially the seniors, and, this is going to be their last game, and it's going to be tough, to go out and put everything you have out there, and when the result that's going to be, and it is tough, but you got to come out and play, and if I'm them, I'm just thinking, let's give it our all, let's go out there, let's play some football, and let's just see what happens. Is
Rivers on 2nd and 21. That one's to Jackson again, and it goes nowhere once again.
And you're seeing that West D line. I told you before the game, the real difference between these teams is the trench play. And that's where, the matchup just becomes unbelievable. And Cam Thomas is a big part of that. He has, 69 total tackles. He has an interception and 3 forced fumbles, and then 12 tackles for loss. That is just some crazy stats right there. And, he's one of the best players on this team. And that's crazy to say because on most teams he would be probably the best player. But for these Firebirds, he is still, just another guy on this team. And it's crazy to say that because of how many, how much talent this team has. I mean, the fact that Cam Thomas is
Mundy, and right as you mentioned talent, that might be a safety. Looked like it might have been on the 1. But even if this might be just like Western Hills last year, with maybe a possible blocked punt. I think Jordan Howe called it last year. So do you want to go ahead and call a possible blocked punt into a touchdown right here?
Yeah, I'm thinking this one either gets blocked or regardless, the Firebirds are going to score some type of way on this play. Either they return it for a touchdown, they block it for a touchdown, or they just get a safety. I'm thinking there's a lot of things that could happen here that could go wrong for Walnut Hills.
I don't know if I've ever seen a returner on the 30. He does get it off. Mason lets it bounce. He's going to return it. Cuts back to the right, and so I guess your call will not be good as Jordan's Houck right there. You won't be able to call it, but they will set up shop at about the 24-yard line.
That's the announcer jinx right there. I mean, I thought Reese had a convoy, but nope. Walnut Hills did a good job there on that return. And again, the field position, just, I mean, like they have not been able to get past the 50 yet. And the Firebirds, I don't think they've had a snap that's behind the 50, so they've stayed on this side of the field the entire game. And, it, you know, just not what you want to see.
So Wiles will still be out there, which in this kind of game might be a little bit surprising in the first quarter, but it is only a 3-possession game. It is a very tight formation. We'll give it to Johnson. Johnson has a hole. Fighting tacklers inside the 5, and he is into the end zone. He is a touchdown machine, proving it right there.
Just too easy for these Firebirds, and we've seen it a lot this year, the blowouts, and we'll see it again tonight. Lakota West doing their job, and a quick touchdown is Braden Johnson. You're seeing his total stats there. I mean, add another touchdown to that graphic. 14 total touchdowns now, 6.4 yards per carry. That will go up too. He's just really an all-around great running back, and he can do it in so many ways, but he just loves scoring touchdowns.
Sheets is up, and it is good. So it is 27-0, 53 seconds left in this first quarter. Lakota West looking to increase this lead and head into the next round looking strong here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Left and right for a do before, and he kicks that one up. It is a low one, but still another touchback. He is yet to kick it less than the end zone, and Walnut Hills will set up shop on the 20.
Yeah, and coming out here, Walnut Hills, it's probably going to be much of the same we've seen. Maybe we'll see if they can get a deep ball to go somewhere, but it's going to be tough here going up against this level of secondary in the Firebirds.
You got to see some throws. I think that's the only way they're going to get much going. I mean, you've seen the run plays. They've got less yards than they gain. It's really just going to not be a very, offensive night at all if they keep running it. I'm not sure if throwing it will be much better, but you got to try something else. But we'll see what Rivers does. He has 2 backs in the backfield, 3 receivers wide. He'll give that one up the gut again, and it'll go nowhere.
And I think Walnut Hills they just got to commit to one type of play. And they've really committed to the run a lot, but I think if they started passing it more, they'd have more success. I mean, you saw that one completion was a nice route, and they got a gain of about 6. But ever since that, they haven't really done anything positive offensively. I think that's just going to continue here if they keep making these play calls.
Interesting. Donovan Gale, who you've seen multiple times here tonight taking handoffs, he had 2 carries coming to this game. 1 for 15 yards, 1 for 0, and he's already got 2 or 3 tonight. He's a unit. He is 5'10", 285. talk about a fullback, and might not be working, but he's definitely what you see. And the other 44 on this play, Giordano makes the big hit.
My goodness, he never had a chance from the start, and that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter here. It's been a pretty lopsided game so far, but we'll be right back here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting.
So Rivers here on 3rd and long. Steps up in the pocket. Nice throw out there to Jackson. And there is nowhere to go as the defense flies multiple guys there to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, a really easy stop, but a nice throw from Rivers on the outside, but it wasn't enough as West is going to get the ball right back here, and they're going to do it again with what looks to be good field position.
4th down for the Eagles.
27-0 already. I mean, we'll see what the punt can do. It's not been good tonight. That one's a high flyer, nearly intercepted, or excuse me, blocked. Barnett decides to return this one. He's got a lane upfield, cutting around. No one to beat, and he's going to go all the way for the 2nd punt return touchdown of the day. Trey Barnett getting into the return game.
What a play there, and you got to be thinking, does the mercy rule come into play at some point here? I mean, this game feels over right now as Sam Wiles getting them hyped on the sideline. They might get some Jackson Smith here in the 2nd quarter. It might seem crazy, but it really isn't when you look at the score and the magnitude of what is going on right now in this game. I
mean, West's offense has barely been on the field tonight. There's nothing they've had to do.
Yeah,
I mean, you mentioned, you said just show up, and that's all they've done here tonight is that one's up and good.
Yeah, all they did was show up, and I mean, you're seeing it on the scoreboard right now, and it's just not a good look, for anyone involved in this game. But
it's 34-0, less than 11 minutes to go here in this OHSAA matchup here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. So Kofi puts this one up, and another touchback for him. It is going to continue as that one barely a touchback, but almost a scare for the Walnut returners.
Yeah, I think Kofi might have been trying to pin them there, as they, he maybe thought they would be sleeping there, and they were sleeping, but almost pinned them, just wasn't able to. And now we get to see this Firebird defense again, which we've seen a lot tonight, and it's just been easy for them. There's not much else to say. I mean, it's been a pretty simple night, and I think really the running clock should be starting, or should have started a while ago, as this one might be out of hand.
Here we go. Refs coming out to say something.
It looks like they're saying run the clock. The refs are.
So there you go. Second quarter.
They might. I'm not sure.
Well, let's see. I'm not quite sure.
I certainly hope they are.
I see Johnson.
Yep, and they are as the clock starts running. Man, have you ever seen that? A running clock in the second quarter.
I see Johnson and Wiles shooting some hoops with that basketball hoop on the sidelines. That one goes forward, so for positive yards, which is definitely what you want to see.
Yeah, and if there's ever been, a game that shows a need of change more, I think it's been this one. It's just because of how lopsided this is. These teams should never have played tonight, and it's not good. It's not a good look for the sport of high school football when you have these type of games where the clock is running in the second quarter. I mean, at some point there's got to be a boundary between letting teams get in the playoffs and keeping teams out. And when you have a team that's only won one game and gotten drubbed in every single game, and you're putting them against a team like West who has only lost a game and has been really dominant all year. I mean, there's not really anything that unexpected that can happen. So, it just doesn't feel like Walnut Hills really, deserve the right to be here. And, that's no hate on Walnut Hills, but it's honestly, sympathy for them because they really, they probably don't even want to be playing in this game because they already know the outcome that's going to happen.
Donovan Gale with another run right up the middle. It's going to be 3rd and 4. This is their closest third down that they've had here tonight. If they could get a first down here, they might be able to get something going.
I think a first down, and their coaches would call that a win, and they would be, really, really proud of that. I mean, with all the circumstances in this one.
But here we go. Rivers, snap. And he'll give it up the middle to Jackson. Jackson fighting. Look at the push from the offensive line, and that's a first down of the game for Walnut Hills. Maybe they'll think about maybe taking back that running clock.
Yeah, good start to this drive. Good energy, and hopefully they can continue that throughout this drive. Is a nice first down, and you love to see that if you're a Walnut Hills coach and you're trying to get these players something to feel good about themselves. That's a good way to start right there.
So here we go on 1st and 10. Will Rivers led the first drive of the game for them right there, halfway through the second quarter. He's got Gale in that backfield, and I believe Jackson as well. 2 wide. Snap. He'll give it to Gale up the middle, and he will chug the legs for a gain of about 2 or 3 right there.
And it seems like Walnut Hills has a pretty, good game plan going on here. They're just, nipping at Lakota West. They're just, taking it step by step, going through the long process. They might have a 20-play drive right here if they just continue to run this thing right up the middle. And, they're gaining 2 yards of play. So
I think this is what everyone thinks when they first start watching football. Just give it to the biggest guy on the field and let him run it up the middle. But
definition of smash mouth football if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, for sure. But Rivers, a huge frame for sure. Standing at 6'5", but it goes over a 6'5" frame, and that is not how you want to start a drive.
Yeah, I mean, they had it. They had 2nd and 8, which is a pretty good position to be in for them, and man, that hurts to see for them, and now they're backed up once again.
It's been a struggling snap so far. That's their 3rd or 4th snap that has gone over the head of Will Rivers, which you got to hope will be better when it's, playoff times. It's been 10 games. You got to get something like that to work a little nicer. But nevertheless, they'll have 3 guys wide. That same lineup they've been running with 2 running backs. That one, another high snap. West brings pressure. Good hold. That one airs it out and tipped in the air, nearly intercepted right there by Drake. Just not able to pull it down.
I got to say, with the high snap and everything, that was a pretty good play from Walnut Hills. I mean, they had a guy that, if the ball was thrown a little bit better, could have been a big completion there.
And, I mean, this just has to be, it should be terrifying for Walnut Hills. They've already had 2 punt return touchdowns. You're just hoping you get to see the defense at least get a chance at it.
Yeah, and I had to be thinking Bolden wants to put in his backups right now because you already have the running clock. This game's already over. You might as well put your backups in and just let them play the rest of the game and keep your starters healthy. And I think that's what he's gonna do. I hope that's what he's gonna do.
Great punt right there. Rolling inside the 20 for Walnut Hills. An incredible punt compared to our last few. And that's the first time West will start in their own territory.
Yeah, and I mean, flipping the field right there, that was an amazing punt. And if there's any way to get your team going, that's one way to do it. Is really nice punt right there. But Lakota West, let's see who comes out on the field. It is Jackson Smith with this clock running.
I've never seen backups in this early in the game. Jackson Smith already out there. All the guys, all this JV team, they're going to be showing a name. This is like time where I think it's time for Bolden just take out his pen and paper and just start writing down some notes about these guys, because a lot of these players are going to be starting for your team next year. Obviously Jackson Smith, but a lot of the receivers, they're going to be some big names. As Smith sets up in shotgun, snap, he'll give that one to Norman. Norman fighting through tacklers, showing off that speed, and he's down to the 38-yard line.
Yeah, and it seems like Norman, after every single time he gets contacted, he always takes his defenders at least 4 or 5 yards after the first contact. And his leg drive is just insane. The ability for him to just get downfield and move his body, and he does it right there with a nice gain.
It's the second he is in that open field, it's so hard to bring him down that once you take that first blunt force, his legs are still going. It's just physics as that one, play action out into the flat. A nice gain right there. And he's pulled down, but still going into Walnut Hills territory. That one to Carmelo Jordan.
Really nice play there from Carmelo Jordan. A guy who finally getting some playing time tonight. And, I mean, looks like all the backups are in right now. So it's great to see if you're maybe a senior trying to get some playing time. I mean, you already know the seniors got to get the love who've been sitting the bench all year, and now they have a chance to prove themselves out here.
So here we go, first down. A nice play right there from Jackson Smith, something you want to see. Usually when he is in it, he's not throwing, but he did right there. Western Hills, that one to the right as Kenyon Norman's in open field, and there's that speed again, still going, breaking tacklers, and he's pushed out, not sure if he got all the way. And it's a touchdown. So another touchdown for Lakota West, 40-0 here at Firebird Field.
Yeah, Kenny Norman just bounced off people right there. That was too easy for Lakota West, and it doesn't matter. Even if they're not trying to score, they still score. As that was just an amazing play there. And they do signal for the running clock, so they want to keep that clock running, I'm pretty sure.
We'll see Seats up there to kick it. He and Adufor, they've both taken turns doing an incredible job from the extra point. Only a couple misses on the year. Flag down on Walnut Hills, but nevertheless, they will still kick this one away. Held by Jordan Houck, our former commentator. Have to go ahead and shout him out. That one's up, and it is good. So 41-0. Clock is running. Lakota West just looking to put this one away. Walnut Hills also, I think, just looking to put this one away. 4:38 left in the game. We will be right back here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. So Sites is a little closer than normal because of that flag. But Andrew, a lot of people might be wondering why a 1-9 team is in the playoffs in the first place. You want to clear up any of that confusion on this kick return as Walnut Hills will set up shop at the 20.
Yeah, well, the way the OHSAA does it is that basically, in every division there's about, 4 regions, and in those regions there's 16 teams in each. And in this region, there's, they basically just give almost every single team that even played a season, they put them in the playoffs. I mean, it doesn't matter. Even if you won one game by a point against the worst team ever assembled, you're probably going to be in the playoffs. I mean, look at Sycamore. And, I mean, also, it just not, it doesn't create the best first round. And really just it makes it very lopsided, like these matchups we've seen here tonight. And I'm sure that Moeller game is also very lopsided.
Yeah, no live coverage there, but I think it is 100% lopsided. I'm not sure how much Moeller is, pushing it and putting in all that hustle because of how lopsided it is. But definitely the skill level is very, very different.
Yeah, but yeah, and, in these divisions there's 16 teams, and Walnut Hills obviously being the 15th seed means they are one of the worst teams in the division. And I feel like, there definitely could be some change made there, maybe lower the amount of teams, just because you don't want these matchups like this in the first round where, I mean, these are just absolutely insane blowouts that it's really just sucks for the seniors who are playing at Walnut Hills, and this might be their last football game ever, and they have to go out here and experience a game like this. It just doesn't create a good atmosphere for really anyone. Yeah, I gotta say.
I think limiting the teams is a good idea, but also just switching out, because you look at a team like Anderson, who's one of the best teams in Ohio, and yet they're playing in Division II, which they're going to just rock the world there, and they're going to go all the way and probably win that state finals in D2 schools, but they would go head-to-head very nicely with Lakota West, maybe even beat them. And so to see them not playing where they should be, I don't think I agree with that. I think it would be more fun, and more competitive to see that, as Rivers going to air it out. This is where they come through, and their flag does come out. So we both mentioned it. The deep ball is what the defense has struggled with, and you see it right there.
Yeah, like I said, if they do play Moeller, that's going to be something that they definitely want to work on, because Matt Ponatowski, that Moeller quarterback, is one of the most talented players in the state of Ohio, and he's going to really give them a tough time with that deep ball. But yeah, like you were saying about how these matchups definitely aren't the best, type of decision the OHSAA can make. It also is really bad because you think about the injuries that could occur in these games, unwanted injuries that just happen from a game that we already know the outcome's going to be. So I think it really just not playing these games would be a lot better of a decision. And, at the end of the day, I think it'd be better for the sport as a whole.
So flags fly right there. I'm not sure who moved first. There was definitely motion on that line. Almost a minute 30 left in this game already. But and it will be on the defense. So 1st and 5. I think that was encroachment from the defense. Another high snap. Rivers rolling to his right. Pressure coming. Gets out of it. Fires downfield, tipped in the air, and it's intercepted. Lakota West going the other way, cutting up field. That one going to who else but Derek Edwards, a guy who we know more than well. Had a great game last week against Mason. 11 tackles, 1.5 sacks.
And might have actually been Kamani Smith.
I'm not sure. It was either 20 or 28.
Yeah, it's hard to tell the difference between the two, but I think it was Kamani Smith, because I'm not sure Derek Edwards is still in that game there.
Yeah,
I think his day's done for.
Yeah, I think that was Kamani Smith, but there was a flag down, so it's still going to be Walnut Hills. So interesting.
Walnut Hills moving down the field with these flags,
and are they in? They are into Lakota West territory.
They could get some points up here before this half's over. They just can continue to keep throwing this ball.
So it's 1st and 10 for Will Rivers. He has moved it. Maybe it was by penalties, but that one to Jackson. And Jackson takes a big hit and gets a nice gain of about 4.
it looks like that might take us to half. I don't know, though. Walnut Hills, they might try to get something here. They only have 28 seconds. They got to go quick.
I don't know if I would look for a field goal here as a unit. Just one attempt from field goals. This is 0 field goals kicked and made on the season. Just one attempted. Less than 15 seconds to go. They're going to run a play. Would have been nice to see them, maybe go a little fast and just try to score because this might be their best opportunity. But it's going to be another handoff to Jackson. And Jackson will lose a yard right there. And that will bring us to half. So Lakota West up 41-0. Not looking good for Walnut Hills, to say the least. We will be back in the second half. Go get a drink, go to the bathroom, get a snack, do whatever you need to do, but make sure you are back for some playoff football here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting.
Kicking off.
So it's 41-0 at halftime. Running clock has begun. Andrew, you want to maybe use some stats to let the crowd know how this first half has gone?
Well, I think the really thing that stands out is there's a low or short kick there. It might have been a squib. But the thing that really stands out is that Walnut Hills has rushed for 21 times. And just take a guess at how many yards they've gotten in that time. I'll let you know it's not a positive number. It's actually negative 22 yards. That is just, that's not going to cut it. And it's just an absurd number to look at. I mean, but all over the stat sheet, it has just really been all Lakota as they've just done everything. And you see a lot of the guys that are getting good stats are guys that, you know, usually some second stringers and don't have as much playing time. So, you know, it is definitely something that you want to, continue to do in the second half with your backups in. And I expect to see some even more backups like Wyatt Schroeder or Stone Butler come in and in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, a lot of quarterbacks have gotten some playing time so far this season as Smith going to take it himself to the left sideline. Very mobile guy as he cuts upfield. Nice play from him, still going. And what looked to be a short play gets them into Walnut Hills territory.
Yeah, and a good tackle there from the Eagles, but Smith with a big gain, and that will bring up another first down for the Firebirds as hopefully this half can go by pretty fast as it's been a pretty easy run for this Firebird team. But setting up here is Smith in shotgun. And Smith.
Low snap right there. Going to take it himself. Using those legs, cuts upfield. He's got a first down and more with the stiff arm. He's pushed out of bounds.
Number 11, Jackson Smith. Again,
They move the chains again, and it's been the same thing a lot in this game as you see Camden Parker out there, the senior, and some other guys, some other seniors out there getting playing time. Good stuff from Bolden, though, to get them in the game. The seniors that definitely do deserve that playing time.
This is where a lot of boys turn into men in these. Sorry about that. A little bit of technical difficulty is that one goes to Smith again, and Smith taking it down, and he's into the end zone for another Lakota West touchdown.
I mean, he just took the Walnut Hills defender right in, and that's too easy for Lakota.
What a run by Jack Smith. Three runs for him and the touchdown.
Yep, and it looks like the Firebirds, you know, we'll have to see who their opponent is, but, you know, they're going to be feeling pretty good after this one. And their opponent, you know, whoever it is, it's going to be a fun matchup next week. Certainly more fun than the one that we've seen tonight.
And that one's going to be a fake. Rolling to the left is Jordan Hauk. Hauk taking it in, and he's into the end zone. Jordan Hauk takes it in, and that's a 2-point conversion for Lakota West.
Special.
What a play. Our former broadcaster getting into the end zone.
That is the Hauk breakdown right there, if I've ever seen it.
He broke down that defense.
They're going crazy for him. What a run from Jordan Hauk.
I'm not sure if that was a game plan or if he took that one himself, but what a gutsy call, and players are happy, crowd is happy, and it's looking more and more like Lakota West is going.
I mean, that's going to be something he's going to tell his grandkids about, and that is just an amazing run. Reaching the pylon. I mean, Jordan Hauk, you'll love to see it. The commentator turned into scoring 2-point conversions for the Firebirds in the playoffs, and, you know, life can take you in some pretty crazy places.
I mean, he's always wanted to play football. Last year, I think he'd be happy to have that play a year ago today. But, man, what a run right there. 49-0 Lakota West.
And I think he deserved that play. I mean, for all the things that he's done for Lakota West and, you know, being the broadcaster last year and then this year coming in and playing for his senior year on the football team. I think Coach Bolden really liked him as a guy, as a person, and he wanted to show, you know, some of his love right there, letting him get in and get a snap and get the play into the end zone. That's just a feel-good moment. I mean, you know, you don't see a lot of those in sports nowadays, but right there, those are one of those plays that you're going to remember for a long time. And I love what Coach Bolden brings with his design right there, and it was just a nice play.
So Walnut Hills comes back onto offense. Well, Rivers just trying to get points on the board. If they can score it all, that would be very, very impressive against a stout defense and a not-so-stout offense from Walnut Hills. But we'll see what the game plan is right here as we see East currently up 28-21 against West Claremont. I mentioned it pregame. That is going to be a very, very close and important game to decide the rest of this playoff bracket.
Yeah, and West Claremont putting up a really good fight in that one. Already 21 points, but East flexing their muscles on offense, so that's a really good matchup right there. I thought East might run away with that one, but West Claremont is showing that they can really contend.
That one goes for about 2 yards to bring up second down.
Jonathan Jackson Jr. on the carry.
And, you bring up the bracket. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of potential second-round matchups that you could see in this bracket. I mean, you look at Princeton and Hamilton. If they both take care of business, we could get a rematch from that crazy game that we saw earlier in this season where Hamilton absolutely decimated Princeton from start to finish, 34-0. And Princeton might be able to get their revenge in that game if they were able to come back and get that rematch. So that's definitely one to look at. Also, you see Moeller, maybe that second round matchup with Lakota East.
Big games as Rivers airs it out. It's going and incomplete. Trying to get something involved right there to Malachi Lowers, but just not able, just a little bit too overthrown.
Yeah, and you got to be thinking, if you're Lakota West, that win over Hamilton looks so much better now this late in the season. They have just been, Hamilton's just been amazing this year. They only have 2 losses. One came to the Firebirds. The other one came to Lakota East in an overtime matchup. So Hamilton's been amazing this year, and they have probably the best running back in the GMC, one of the best running backs in the state in Grayson Goldsmith, and he's really shown what he can do on the ground, and I think he'll continue to do that. And that matchup with Princeton, man, that's going to be such a good game if those two teams do end up advancing to the second round.
Jackson that time, nowhere to go, and that'll bring up fourth down.
You got to be thinking they're going for it here, fourth and short situation.
Might as well see if you can continue to run the clock with that moving clock. But the punt unit will come out. So we'll see Carmelo Jordan back deep to receive. Backup returner who's done a pretty nice job so far, him along with Kamani Smith. Not to be confused with Derek Edwards out there, despite their jerseys looking similar. That one's up, very low flyer. A bounce and a solid punt right there from Ross to bounce to about the 26-yard line. So West will take over at the 26-yard line. It's 49-0. West will have the ball when we return here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. So Jackson Smith will give that one to Williams. Williams giving off some speed, fighting past defenders, still going, dragged down from behind, and he's down inside the 35 of Hills territory.
And here comes Stone Butler running onto the field.
That is a player who could be a potential starter sometime in the future.
You'd love to see him getting in there on the action.
It's a beautiful night here tonight, really. I mean, a little chilly for everyone, especially up here in the booth. A lot of our producers can definitely attest to that. Is another big run for a first down right there. That one, again, to LaShawn Williams, who's definitely had his impact when he comes into the game. I mean, just an incredible night of football. Not so much the score, but just the overall atmosphere has just been incredible.
Yeah, and you got to be thinking if you're, if you're Lakota West and you know what you've been doing, you got to be thinking you're feeling pretty good about what this playoff run is shaping to be. And
a big play right there. Tackled in the backfield.
Is for LaShawn Williams. Obviously, that didn't help his cause there, but you look at how many yards he averages per carry, 8.8 heading into tonight. It'll probably go up after that, too, with just seems like every time he gets the ball, he at least gets about 10 yards and just runs, you know, as far as the eye can see.
Great play right there by Stevie Gordon to get that tackle for a loss. Bring up 2nd and 14. Not a territory Lakota West has been in much, being backed up on in the downs category, but Williams motions out. Schroeder going to take it himself. And he'll get a nice gain. Helmet flies off. And I'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, nice to see Wyatt Schroeder getting in there. Him and Stone Butler trading snaps here in this game.
I mean, you're at a point where you're not even have Jackson Smith out there playing. That is definitely an interesting. You've only seen that a couple times.
Back in. Him and Schroeder keep switching every single snap, it seems like.
Schroeder's only thrown it once so far this season, which was unfortunately an interception.
We'll see if Stone Butler can get something here, though.
So here on 3rd and 13, Butler goes out of bounds, and we'll see if they stay out on the field, maybe run an extra play, or if they bring out the kicking unit.
Looks like they'll probably stay out there. I mean,
we'll see if Stone Butler might be able to get his first touchdown of his young career.
And no, it looks like number 8 is coming in.
Cam Thomas.
I think it's just, I'm not sure he's listed on the roster. We'll just refer to him as number 8 for now. Well, it's crucial 4th down, and I don't think they got there. Nice play from Walnut Hills.
Yeah, interesting play on 4th and 5, not able to get that one down. So we'll see the defense come back onto the field, and Will Rivers in this offense lining back up under center.
As here comes Lakota West after probably their first stop of the game for Walnut Hills. A good play there as Lakota West just kept switching quarterbacks there, and nice to see a lot of different quarterbacks getting playing time there.
Maybe that was a freshman, or I'm not quite sure who that was. They're not listed on the roster.
Walnut Hills as it's turnover on down.
Kind of shocking to see Will Rivers still in. You would imagine maybe he's a senior, but he's still a junior, so I'm kind of shocked to see that he hasn't taken a back seat as that one goes up the middle, and defense swarming right there. Big play. First that got to get to him was Riley Lagaza. And a nice tackle.
He was tackled by number 51, Riley Lagiza.
Riley Lagiza, the junior, coming in, getting some nice playing time there.
1 yard gain on the carry. 2nd down and 9.
So here we go on 2nd and 9. Dakota East still up 28-21 right now. Right out there, and a big hit, and I think that one was dropped.
Nice hit there.
What a hit right there. I think that was Marlo McCurdy.
Just a great play on the ball there.
Cam Kalabali. It was incomplete.
Brings up 3rd and 9 as this quarter looks like it'll be coming to a close here. Firebirds retain the lead. Jordan Houck, the story of the night, though, with his 2-point conversion. We'll be right back here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting.
So on 3rd and 9 here, I thought this might be a little interesting of a matchup because West and Walnut Hills, as far as I can tell, have never played. Will Rivers airing it out. It's caught.
Goodness.
What a play out of bounds. Oh, man, that could have gone all the way.
Oh, if he just stayed in bounds, that's a touchdown.
Oh, no.
Oh, my. What a throw from Rivers and what a catch.
I think that was, trying to figure out who exactly that was. I think it was Malachi Lures on the catch.
I mean, that was play of the year.
The defender
so far.
just fell down, but nice play right there.
What a catch. I mean, if there's one thing to take away from this game is, I mean, that was a great throw right there. And, I mean,
I'm telling you, Will Rivers, he might not have the best stats, but he is not afraid to air it out as Gale,
they
a
love
power
that
back.
fullback there.
He definitely brings in hits as we'll have basically a whole new lineup out there for Lakota West.
We do want to thank East for giving us that live update score of that playoff game. It is too bad that they weren't able to stream the video of that game, but they are still recording it on radio and giving their live reaction to the game. So,
yeah, I mean, 1-9 season for Walnut Hills, unfortunate, but you look at last year, they were 0-10, so it got better, I guess, as Rivers airs it out again, and it's just barely incomplete. He had it in his hands. That one to Xander Hargis just wasn't able to hold it in.
where has this been all game? They got to keep throwing
Man.
this
I mean,
thing.
they could have been putting up. I know these are the backups, so obviously doesn't mean a lot, but, I mean, they could have been putting in something, maybe just make this a little bit closer of a game.
Yeah, I mean, Will Rivers, he's looking pretty good right now when he has time to throw.
So 3rd and 8, let's see if they can have another magical play on that last huge bomb. Less than 10 minutes to go. The motion man, 4 wide out. It's looking like they might throw it, and they will. Rivers, 4-man rush, rolling to his right. He's got time. He throws it, airing it out, and it's incomplete. Another drop right there.
What a throw from Will Rivers.
My goodness, I mean, he had his man. The poise right there when you're down 49-0 to roll to your right and just chuck that one deep and almost make a play. It'll be 4th and 8 now. So on 4th and 8, it looks like they're going to stay out there. So we'll see if there's a little bit of magic left in Will Rivers here tonight.
I mean, on these last few throws, he's been showing off his capabilities.
Blitz
He just let this
coming,
thing go. He
airing
just
it
does
out,
not care.
and it's incomplete. Almost intercepted right there for Lakota West by Marlo McCurdy.
I mean, he's just throwing that anything in the air like he just does not care.
I like the reference. I like the reference, Andrew. Let's keep it going. If you can get if you get a couple more tonight, we might have to make a deal because I like that one. I want to hear more like that.
Yeah, you know, I've been trying to work on those, you know, as the broadcasting season has gone through. But right there, I mean, they had the great play to start the drive. They almost had another great play. It seems like there were so many times on that drive where they had something going, and unfortunately enough, they could not get anything. I don't know what I just said there. That was really bad. But they do have a chance here on defense to get a stop, as they just did last drive.
So here we go. Schroeder hands it off, and a big hit in the backfield, and here come the Walnut Hills defenders. A little too little, too late, but still a nice play.
Yeah, Walnut Hills is starting to flex against backups here, showing, you know, that they can still do it if they're playing against the backups here.
We got live coverage thanks to Mason Broadcasting Club. It's currently 28-3 Elder. So it looks like both of our predictions will come through. Maybe not how you were expecting, but
That is kind of scary for us next week.
another big tackle in the backfield.
So Walnut Hills starting to show off their muscles here.
That one going to Gabriel Schumacher. Kind of a rush showing from him on those 2 carries, but
Gabriel Schumacher, I love to see him in the game. Unfortunately enough, though, he did get tackled right there.
we'll see He stays out there.
Third down and long.
Steps back, number 8, fires. It's caught by Finn. Finn Mason. A big play, almost nearly a first down, and I think it is to move the chains.
The freshman quarterback, number 8, not listed on the roster, but he's still making an impact here. And we'll definitely know his name next season and the seasons to come. He could be Jackson Smith's successor very well. Could be. As you know how well this team develops talent. You know that, I mean, with an arm like that, he could definitely be someone that starts in years to come for the Firebirds.
Flag down. We're seeing Schroeder back out there. It's been an interesting course of events. We've seen how many is that 5 quarterbacks here tonight? We saw number 8. We saw Jackson Smith, Stone Butler, Wyatt Schroeder, and of course Sam Wiles. I don't know if I've ever seen that many quarterbacks in a game at one time.
I mean, for what we all know, we could see Vincent Giordano in at QB at the next play. I mean, this is something crazy.
Tall quarterbacks, coaches love them. So, I mean, we could see him for sure in. As we'll see a few wide. Schroeder gives that one to Schumacher. Schumacher takes a big hit, and he'll get a nice game.
Getting in the game. You'd love to see him.
Handoff went to number 43, Gabriel Schumacher. He was brought down by 0, Jonathan Jackson Jr. One-yard gain on the carry. Second down and 9.
I think this has to be some freshman guys not listed on a roster because I don't think that was Finn Mason. I see him down there on the sideline. So I'm not quite sure who that is.
Getting playing time though as well.
And thanks to our chat coming in clutch. That's Owen Herring, number 8. And a big hit right there to bring up third down.
Well, Owen Herring definitely showing off some potential there. That
poise in
throw
the
he made
pocket.
on second down. Only as a freshman too. Definitely could be the future of this Firebirds squad, already being on varsity in just his freshman season.
Now we apologize for any unknowns of names. We're given a roster, and we don't have much more of that. And again, number 6 out there on the field, that's not Finn Mason. On 3rd and 5. So Herring and shotgun. He's got a nice handoff to the right side. Still going, first down and more. And he will slide down for another first down. That one, I believe, Judah Blair, the freshman, for a first down.
Looks like he's listed as a safety, but coming in there and running the football, I mean, they're giving it to anyone who's on the team at this point.
Been an incredible game so far for Lakota West. They've done so much in all facets of the game. Pretty much held them to essentially nothing at all facets of the game. But here we go on a fresh set of downs on 1st and 10. We'll see Wyatt Schroeder in shotgun. Blair to his left. Snap. It'll take it himself. It'll be a lateral right there. Knee goes down. Not sure who that is because that's number 2, and that's definitely not Sam Wiles.
Once again, hopefully our chat can help us out with these names, but as the clock continues to wind down, see, maybe this might be the last drive of the game if the Firebirds can hold this one on.
Yeah, you said 56-0. That might.
Here comes Matthew. Well, I'm not sure. No, it is Matthew Begley coming out.
Yeah, Matthew Begley coming out of the field. Take the final few snaps of this game. Flag comes out.
Oh, come on. They cannot call a flag. That's pretty unnecessary.
Are you for real? You can be like, I got in the game and I got not cool, ref, not cool.
So the clock will continue to run. I'm not sure what the flag was, but it'll be 2nd and 17
Yeah, it's looking like they're just going to kneel this thing out. And obviously it hurts to see if you're a Walnut Hills senior.
And they'll let Matthew Begley take that one and knee one of the final whistles out as it gets the crowd roaring, something we haven't seen in a few plays.
You even see the refs clapping. That's just good to see right there. Not sure if they've called the game yet or not. I'm not sure why they haven't.
So, Andrew, assuming Elder does not end this game, just a quick sneak peek of that. What are you thinking on that? Obviously, you said it's a little scary how they handled business against Mason. Is West still going to have the firepower, to beat that GCL defense?
I think they're going to be able to win that game, but I was going into that game, I was thinking it's just going to be another blowout. I think Elder's going to put definitely a fight against West. I mean, with the way they're playing Mason, that kind of looks scary to me. And you know how it's out of conference and everything. I mean, as you see,
I really don't think this is the time for the refs to be throwing the flags down, but so I guess it'll actually be on Walnut Hills. I don't think this is the time to call penalties. It's really not going to affect the outcome of the game. So here we go on 3rd and 9, and this should be the final snap of the game as West pretty much going to be looking to play against Elder in round 2. You don't want to look past, I mentioned in that interview with Bolden, and he kind of agreed with me, you don't want to have tunnel vision against Moeller despite losing them 4 straight years in the playoffs. You got to just play 1 week at a time. Clock winding down. Lakota West wins 49-0 as the players come out onto the field. So we will be live next week. Not sure if Spectrum will decide to pick up that game and broadcast in, which means we will only be able to do radio in that case. But that is your ball game here at Lakota West. We will see you next week against Elder, I would assume, unless Mason has a comeback. We thank you for tuning in for tonight's ball game, and we will see you next Friday.